Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another video, and of course, this is part of my ongoing series of, the not so handyman's guide to finishing your own basement. And in this one, we're going to be talking about planning your framing job, as well as purchasing the lumber and just all sorts of fun little details like that. And again, the first thing that this video proves, again, is just how wonderful the internet is for finding this information. The way I figured out how to get what studs I needed was just by, I will link this in the video description by using the article that you see on your screen right here. So there's two things that you need to do first before you do any calculations whatsoever. The first thing is you measure, from your concrete base up to your rim joists, right? And for us U.S. people, for mine, it was 7 feet 9 inches. I don't know what that is in centimeters or meters. Sorry, I'm not that good at metric. So basically 7 feet 9 inches from concrete to rim joist. So obviously for those, I would just get 8-foot studs. Unsurprisingly, that's going to be your pretty standard size that you're just going to want to get, right? So there you go. 8-foot studs for vertical. Very easy to figure out, right? Then I had to figure out, after I figured out it was 104 feet, and I knew I was going to get 16-foot studs for the, the bottom plate and the top plate, right? All I had to do was figure out, okay, I had to do, basically 104 divided by 16, and it was like 6 point something, right? It wasn't exactly 7, so obviously since it was 6 point something, clearly you just get 7, right? Not rocket science on that stuff. So that was how I figured out. And of course I needed 7 for the top and then 7 for the bottom. Duh, easy. So the real trick, of course, is figuring out how many 8-foot studs you buy. And for that, you actually have to use a mathematical formula, which we are going to go over real quick. I'm going to skim through this article here and just see if I can get that wall stud. Okay, here it is. Basically, wall stud order method. I'm not going to be using soffits in mine, so because I'm going to be using a drop ceiling, but not that matters for this part, but I'm just telling you why I'm not having to use the soffit. Now, if you're going to add soffits, obviously you're going to need to calculate that in with your purchase. Me, I didn't have to do it because I'm only using 2x4s for the framing. So anyway, here we go. Basically, what I did here, the first thing that you do, measure the lengths of all of your walls. Done. So that was, what did I say, 104? So 104. All right. And then you multiply by 12. Okay, so times 12. Okay. And then you divide that by 16. And then add 50 to that number. All right. And you get 128. So I figured, well, I just thought, hey, you know what is going to be good? Just add 2 more to that. Make it an even 130. That way I have 2 more extra studs in case I really need them, right? They're not all that expensive individually. So there you go. That's how I figured out, basically what I was going to spend on this. So there's that. Or I'm sorry, not how much I was going to spend, how many I needed. So it's like, okay, I need 130 studs, 8-foot studs, and I knew what I needed to get. So I actually read up on this on the internet, the best way to buy lumber, or where should you buy lumber from, right? And a lot of people were like, of course, unsurprisingly, downing the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's. And yeah, obviously I'm going to disclose where I got the lumber from. And a lot of people were saying, oh, you should go to like a nice local lumber mill. They'll give you great service and a great price. Well, here's what I did. The first place that I called to get a quote on this, I just called 84 Lumber, right? And they were right around $1,000, okay, roughly, and maybe another 100 for delivery. So we're looking at, $1,100 roughly, and then a bit more with tax. So, you know, whatever, right? That was quote number 1 that I got. And quote number 2, I actually called a local, what I would call very highly regarded, bespoke lumber mill. And did they want $1,000? No. Did they want $2,000? No. Their quote was a little over $3,000, and they didn't even sell pressure treated wood at all. I guess they custom make the lumber there or whatever. So clearly that was out, right? There was no way I was going to spend 3 times the amount of, you know, getting it from the lumber mill versus 84 lumber. But I also thought to myself, I'm going to get a couple more quotes because this is a good amount of money. I'm going to get, so I looked into, you know, getting quotes from Lowe's and Home Depot. And apparently the good thing to do if you're going to spend more than $1,500 with them is to go to their pro desk and they will give you a discount supposedly, right? So I reached out to both of them. I'll tell you about the place I didn't hear back from first. I contacted Lowe's. I basically gave them, you know, I said, hey, I'd like to get a quote for, you know, from your pro desk. And they said, okay, here's our email address. Fantastic. This was actually the second quote I was going to get from a big box retailer because I had already gotten one from Home Depot. But anyway, I sent them the information. I even pulled for the tools, which we will talk about. We'll talk about tools here in a bit. For the tools that I needed to purchase, I included the item numbers, right, to make it real easy on them. Like I went to their website and I looked at the tools. I'm like, okay, this, right? Gave them all the item numbers, the whole 9 yards. I sent that request to my local Lowe's, and I literally never, ever heard anything back. Not once. Like, I already have the stuff on hand, and I still haven't heard back from them. So, poof. Right? Ultimately, I did end up going with Home Depot, and I did pay a little bit more for the lumber than I would have than with 84 lumber. Truth be told, I spent around roughly $1,300 for just the lumber from Home Depot. So you might be asking yourself, well, why on earth did you spend more to get it from Home Depot when you could have gotten it from 84 lumber for less? Well, one thing that was the case is it was not exactly an apples to apples comparison from 84 lumber and Home Depot, because Home Depot actually, I guess, they sold me a as far as the vertical studs go, they're actually pressure treated as well, because obviously for your floors you're going to want pressure treated wood because of, you know, water events. You don't really need them on the vertical studs, but that's what they gave me. They gave me pressure treated vertical studs. Whatever, you know. Honestly, I thought about correcting it, but I thought to myself, you know what? If I ever have a, you know, more significant water event to where that might actually matter, I'll probably be, or just water somehow leaking into the, whatever. I just thought, hey, you know what? Screw it. I will take the pressure treated wood. Maybe I'm being a little crazy. Maybe I don't need it. But it didn't add so much to the cost that I was like, I can't do this, right? So, truth be told, yes, I spent slightly more with Home Depot, but again, if the wood had not been pressure treated, you know, it probably would have been a very similar cost with 84 lumber. So, anyway, I spent roughly, like I said, $1,300 on just the lumber from Home Depot, and I did also purchase my tools through Home Depot. Now, you can get most of these tools online, but I actually went looking on Amazon today because, of course, I was going to put, if I could find all this stuff on Amazon, I was, of course, going to put affiliate links down there and say, hey, go there, get this stuff if you want. But I couldn't, with a good conscience, do that because a lot of the products that were at Home Depot actually weren't sold by Amazon at all. And some that were $20 to $40 higher on. They were actually more expensive on Amazon than from Home Depot. So obviously, I'm not going to refer somebody to pay more money for something, you know, that's not equal. That's just not very wouldn't be a good video if I were to do that to just, on hopes of an affiliate link. So you might be asking yourself, okay, so how much did you spend on tools? Well, we're going to talk about that here in a second. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is, materials list. Okay, so let's pull up the old calculator today and see how much I spent on the, well, I'm moving all sorts of stuff around here. Clicking the wrong things. All right. Okay, so we knew how many studs we needed, so we're going to look at the tools that I bought as well as the prices that I paid. So I was lucky that my father-in-law has a number of tools already that I did not have to purchase, like circular saw, levels, chalk lines, basically things that you would want to use to make sure that your walls are level and plumb and evenly cut. He has all that stuff. I didn't have to buy any of those tools myself. So, I saved probably, honestly, at least, but somewhere between $300 to $500 for tools that he's going to bring that I don't have to buy myself, which I'm very grateful for. So anyway, let's move it on here. Oh yeah, I didn't mention in this video yet, my father-in-law is actually going to help me with the framing, and I'm going to pay him. And when we get to final cost, I guess when I do my next video, that will be factored in. But anyway, here's what I bought. So I bought the drive pins, which basically are the pins that you use to, you put basically the gunpowder, nail gun, bang bang. Those are the nails that get driven into the wood, driven into the concrete, right? So I had to buy those, $24.78 for a set of 100, not bad. And I had to buy $10.48 for basically the nail gun to shoot those nails. I'm not the nail gun, geez, the bullets to get the nail gun to shoot it. The nail gun itself was $64.98. The 6-gallon air compressor I had to buy because the air compressor I had not big enough. All right, $129. Let's see, the shank nails, which are basically the framing nails, to shoot into, to attach the studs to the base, the top and bottom. I paid, looks like, am I reading that right? Oh, $38.78. Oops. Well, at least want to put in the right amounts, right? Okay. Next item was obviously just the nailer itself. So my tool cost, not bad, about $427. So we'll just say $430, right? So my grand total for everything, my quoted total for everything, and these prices that I paid from the quote are the same as what's listed on Home Depot's website, by the way. But I did get a 10% discount on my order because, well, I had a Home Depot credit card, and so it gave me 10% off. And I just had to pay that off today. That was painful. But anyway, with tax and delivery, it was actually around $1,900, right? Roughly $1,900. So for the last time I spent here was six. So $1,900 is what I spent roughly, and I spent about $600 before. So I was almost $700. So far I have spent $2,600 roughly on this project. And originally I said I'm trying to do this for under $10,000. Well, I'm only to framing, and I'm already up to $2,600. I will be able to recoup some of this because honestly, after this project is done, I'm definitely going to resell some of the tools that I buy, especially like the framing nailer, because I don't see myself ever building anything like this ever again. So that's extremely likely to get sold after this project. But it doesn't matter what I could recoup. That's not what this series is about. So far I've spent about like I said, 2,600, 2,500. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. 2,500, and after I factor in whatever I pay my father-in-law, I have no idea. You know, we'll just say I'll be up to roughly 3,000 maybe, by the time this is all done. So, you know, and basically I'll be a third of the way through my budget already. I do know that framing is definitely the most expensive, one of the most expensive material parts of this. Carpet's going to be a lot too, probably the drop ceiling. So do I think realistically I'm going to be able to do this project for $10,000 or less? Truthfully, no. I don't see that happening. I don't know how high it's going to go, but I do know that no matter how much it is, it's going to cost me a hell of a lot less than fully hiring on professional contractors. It's definitely going to run me less money than what that would cost. So that's something. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this part. Interspersed after this, you're going to see basically video of the delivery and my tools, the delivery of the lumber and all that, and basically what I had to do to get it into the house and, you know, all that stuff. I did all that yesterday on Labor Day. Today is September 6th, so the day after Labor Day, it's Tuesday. So that's it for this. I'll see you guys in just a second for the next part.
Well, folks, here it is, Labor Day, and they delivered the wood. I might be short in 16-foot one, but I'm not quite sure yet. I'll know when I'm done, but if I'm only short one sheet, considering how much I bought, not so bad. It'll be pretty easy to sort that out with the store, I'm sure. But there is 130 8-foot studs. My kid's sitting on this because she's weird, she just wants to, and she's going to be helping me take these in, obviously. But and you're going to have to get your shoes on, by the way, kid. So, yep, that's it. I will be back when this is all in the house. Okay, folks, here we are a bit more than 2 hours later, and I got basically everything unloaded, but there are a few issues. One, like I noted, I was definitely short a 16-foot board, one of the untreated 2x4s. I was short one, and this one is untreated. These holes give me a lot of concern. They're probably nothing, but I saw some pictures of termite damage that kind of look like this. This was the only board in the entire stack that had these issues. So honestly, overall, I'm going to give Home Depot a B- for everything. Because they didn't call before they showed up. They just showed up, which is fine. I mean, I was here, but they should have called first. The fact that this board is in the pile, and the fact that they missed one. So that takes the entire customer service experience down maybe to a B and a minus, but I can live with that. It's not terrible. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this board loaded into my truck. I'm going to have to return this to Home Depot, and then I'll be coming back with 2 more boards, and I'll be done loading in. We'll take a look at the aftermath. See you in a bit. Okay, folks, I went to Home Depot, came back, and I want to show you guys all of the lumber in my basement here. Now, the reason I had to basically put them down like this is because the boards were pretty wet. Thankfully, every single one of my 8-foot studs is treated wood. I didn't specify that, but that's what they gave me. So fine, whatever. It's fine. I'm certainly not gonna complain about having treated wood for my wall studs. Not entirely necessary, but again, not gonna complain. And one thing that I actually was thinking about while I knew I was gonna make this part of the video is, one good thing about this series of videos as opposed to, some of the more, the ones by actual professionals on YouTube, is this perspective of my basement is a bit unique, because when you watch videos on YouTube about this kind of stuff, or at least most of them, the basements are empty or nearly empty, right? Obviously, as you can see, my basement is, and yes, we're seeing more of the lumber here. My basement is clearly not empty, so I have to do a lot of what I would call worksite management, which of course just means moving stuff around. Unfortunately, once these boards dry out, of course I'm gonna have to start stacking them. I'm not gonna leave them all spread out like this. This is just, I'm gonna leave like leave them like this. Today is Monday. I'm going to leave them like this for a couple of days because I am not doing any framing until Saturday when my father-in-law comes to help me. So this is obviously going to be the final part of my framing planning, and we're going to be doing the work very shortly. So, and the 16-footers were a bit of a trick, or I'm sorry, a bit of an issue to get into the house, because let me show you guys something. Originally, my original plan, and as you can see, the lumber takes up a huge amount of space overall in the basement, just so you can get the full scope of how much space it takes up. At least if it's not stacked. I was originally going to bring the items in through this window, right? I'm sorry, the lumber. But I thought that this window would come off real easy. Well, it came off what I would call semi-easy. There were some, basically when I opened this up and I saw it didn't just pop out or whatever, I was like, okay. I thought to myself, okay, I'm just gonna take the boards, bring them down the stairs, just carefully maneuver, blah. And I was able to do that with the 8-foot boards, right? When I tried with my first 16-foot board, was not happening with the 16-footers. Those were way too long. So how did I get them into the house? Well, I broke down and I removed this window. I'll show you actually, just for fun. Maybe if we can get it on camera. Yeah, there we go. Basically, each one of these channels had 2 screws in them. I took those out, and then, yeah, I was able to get the window off. So, removed the window, and I took the 16-foot ones in through this window. So, obviously, I managed to get them in the house. I was a little worried. I was like, God, I might have to cut these. What's going to happen? But, thankfully, due to the windows in the... This part of the basement, of course, is not getting finished. Because it's good to have some of your basement not be finished for storage and for stuff like this, right? It's not a bad thing. So, yeah, that's basically it for that. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys, before I actually show the work off in like my next video on this, is of course the tools. Most of the tools I purchased. I'm only missing one item, like I said earlier in the video. This is the, basically, of course, this is what shoots the gunpowder into the, with the nail and will secure the studs to the concrete and to the steel beams. This, of course, is the air hose for the framing nailer that I got. Gunpowder. These are the actual... the screws that you use to secure the studs. And then, of course, 1,000 framing nails right there. And the 6-gallon air compressor that should work just great with the framing nailer. Now, I already have a 4-gallon air compressor that's about 100 PSI. So why didn't I just use that? Well, from what I understood, I needed just a little bit more power than I had. And I figured it'd be worth it just to step up to a somewhat better air compressor for that. I may sell my old air compressor. I don't know. Not really too worried about it right now. Oh, something just fell. No idea what the hell that was. Perhaps it was cat caused. Who knows? Definitely startled me. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this part of this. So as always, you guys know what's going to happen. Live long. Oh, I can't even do the salute right. Live long and prosper. Keep on rocking. I'll see you guys real soon.